He fed his enemies to crocodiles. He kept severed heads in his refrigerator. He claimed he was the king of Scotland. And in 8 years, he murdered 500,000 people. This is the story of Idi Amin, the man who turned an entire country into his personal playground of terror. Idi Amin Dada, a name that still sends chills down the spine of anyone who lived through his reign. He was a soldier, a dictator, and a madman who ruled Uganda from 1971 to 1979. But before the world knew him as a monster, he was just a boy with a violent temper and impossible dreams of power. Born into poverty in the 1920s, Amin had almost no education, but what he lacked in brains, he made up for in brutality. Standing at 6 feet 4 inches and weighing over 250 pounds, he was a force of nature. The British colonial army recruited him, and he quickly earned a reputation as a ruthless fighter, crushing rebellions in Kenya with shocking violence. When Uganda gained independence in 1962, Amin climbed the ranks. By 1971, the country's president, Milton Obote, feared Amin was planning a coup. He was right. On January 25, 1971, while Obote was out of the country, Amin seized power in a bloodless takeover. At first, Ugandans celebrated. They thought Amin was their savior. They had no idea they'd just welcomed the devil himself. Within months, the mask came off. Amin declared himself president for life, and the killings began. Soldiers loyal to the old government, executed. Intellectuals, journalists, judges, disappeared. Entire ethnic groups were targeted. The Akoli and Lango people were slaughtered by the thousands. But Amin wasn't just brutal. He was bizarre. He awarded himself medals he never earned, including the Victoria Cross from Britain. He declared himself the conqueror of the British Empire, and even claimed he was the uncrowned king of Scotland. He sent a telegram to the United Nations offering to become Secretary General. He challenged Julius Nyerere, the president of Tanzania, to a boxing match in the ring. The world laughed, but Uganda wept, because behind the clownish antics was pure evil. Amin's secret police, the State Research Bureau, became a death squad. Torture chambers operated 24/7. People were bludgeoned with hammers, burned alive, thrown to crocodiles in the Nile River. And the rumors? They were true. Amin stored body parts of his victims in freezers. He once forced his own wife to reassemble the dismembered body of her lover before ordering her execution. Between 100,000 and 500,000 people were murdered under his rule. Uganda became a graveyard. But even monsters fall. In 1978, desperate to distract from Uganda's collapse, Amin invaded Tanzania. Big mistake. Tanzania's president, Julius Nyerere, struck back hard. Tanzanian forces, joined by Ugandan rebels, crushed Amin's army. By April 1979, they reached the capital, Kampala. Amin fled, first to Libya, then to Saudi Arabia, where he lived in luxury for the next 24 years. He never faced trial, never answered for his crimes. He died in 2003 in a hospital bed, surrounded by comfort. The man who destroyed a nation got to die in peace. Idi Amin's story is a warning. It shows how unchecked power and ego can turn a human being into a demon. How a single man can plunge millions into darkness. Uganda is still recovering, even today. Remember his name, not to glorify him, but to never forget what happens when the world looks away. Power without accountability doesn't just corrupt, it destroys everything.